Yep. Well, good, man. I'm glad y'all had a good Christmas, and
Yeah, it was good. Chill, just like yours.
well, so today's episode we're diving right into where we left off last week with Katy Perry's
Well,
Dark.
last three weeks.
Yeah, with Katy Perry's Dark Horse music video. Found a pretty good article by this guy, Frank America, who did kind of break down scene by scene and lyric by lyric of some of the symbolism in the video, and I thought he did a really good job. So we'll be referring to that a whole lot throughout the episode. Go check out the article yourself if you want to get like a full deep dive into it. And I'm sure we'll be going down some rabbit holes too with some of the Egyptian symbology and everything that he refers to here as well. So, and I know we kind of started to talk about it last week, but just to kind of recap how the video starts off with a scene saying Memphis, Egypt, a crazy long time ago. And then we talked a little bit last week about how the boat that's depicted in the scene is really similar to what you might see in illustrations from Dante's Inferno. It's a Greek stick-style boat, which is pretty important for some of the symbology that they're referring to in this video. Oh wait, before I even jump to the boat, let's discuss location, right? So why did she choose Memphis, Egypt for the setting of this particular video? Well, Memphis, Egypt was an ancient capital of Lower Egypt, and it was about 12 miles south of the Pyramid of Giza. So
You know what's weird about Lower Egypt? It's actually in the North Egypt.
yeah,
And
and I
Upper
thought that was
Egypt.
weird too.
Yeah, there's
Do you
something.
have a photo of that you can show?
No, I actually don't.
Let's see.
You screen share. You can share your.
Share.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the area we're referring to here. Can you see that?
I can.
Cool. So actually, Lower Egypt's up here in North Egypt, right off the Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah, for people listening, it's just the illustrated map of Egypt, Red Sea, and Mediterranean. And Lower Egypt, right at the top, that top little bump along the Mediterranean's green, and then a green path flows all the way down. What's that path? Is that representing the Nile, or?
That's the Nile River.
Okay, it's just green.
The green is from whenever the Nile floods every year, and that's why the cities are all situated along the Nile River in this desert, so that they actually have some thriving life once a year with the yearly floods of the Nile.
Yeah, that whole metropolis is amazing because it's like a land representation of the sky starting. Whoa, why is my face there?
Sorry, well, I clicked on Skype.
So the Milky Way is represented by the Nile, and the Orion belt, the three stars, I forget the names of them, but I think they're like on the west side of the Milky Way, but they're on the corresponding side of the Nile, the pyramids, because those are like perfectly proportioned and represent the belt of Orion, because it's an Orion religion. Orion, Horus, which we talk about the Horus, the Eye of Horus, and the son of Osiris, because Osiris's son is Horus, and they're represented by the stars because the son comes after the father, and Horus is represented by Isis, and Sirius, Sirius comes after Orion, Osiris. So they rise. But when the heliacal rising of Sirius corresponds with the flooding of the Nile. It's all like a super deep Osirian religion all around the stars.
Yeah, and the stars, I mean, we keep going back to that, how these ancient religions were just obsessed with the stars and cosmology. Not to deviate too much off this subject, but fuck it. We can talk about whatever we want. I was listening to an episode today of with Tripoli's show, the Tinfoil Hat podcast, and it was like not the newest one, but maybe the one before that. Some guy named Micah went on it. Did you listen to that?
I don't think so. I definitely saw the title. I probably didn't listen.
Yeah, so I don't remember the guy's full name, Micah something, but he was basically talking about and giving examples of how the Bible was nothing but, I mean, as he put it, star poetry.
Yeah, I did listen to that one.
It
Micah, I thought that was Isaac Weishaupt or something.
No, it was Micah
No,
Silent something or another. But
yeah, I listened to that one. Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
thought, yeah, he did I thought that was
yeah,
pretty cool. I mean,
yeah,
how he broke down all of these messages in the Bible are actually referring to the cosmos, and
yeah,
somehow, that got hidden by the Roman Catholic Church, who forbid, in their catechisms and their addendums to the Bible, they forbid, you even talking about astrology or anything along those lines. But I thought it was all super interesting, and
yeah. It's
he
funny how,
pointed to some very poignant examples in the Bible that are hard to deny
yeah,
about how this was really about the stars. So,
like the
but
breadbasket and Virgo and Jesus, and it's when he was saying it, I was following it. It was blowing my
whenever,
mind, but I can't retain it. I can't
yeah, I
remember.
know I'm too stupid to retain stuff like that. I'm just giving people the little tidbits of information so they can go and check it out themselves and see I mean, we talked about that in the 4 episodes we did on Randall Carlson's uh, 4 hour lecture with the ancient cultures building these giant monuments to monitor and observe the cosmos. So it's pretty cool to see that similar thread, um, be recognized by different folks who study
Mhm.
astrology and things along those lines, in hidden in the ancient textures that are so popular, like the Bible. You know,
Hmm. Yeah,
so
it's hard to
talk
deny at
about
this
the book.
point.
You talk about the Book of Job and the challenge to him from God was basically to go and identify these different stars. Go listen to the episode; it's really good. But anyway,
Which episode is that? The same, the
you can
Isaac
look up
episode?
yeah, the Micah episode.
Okay, yeah, I listened to that one. Is that the same episode you were just talking about, or
Yeah, it's all in
okay,
that
yeah,
same episode. I
yeah,
listened to it today. That's what I'm talking about. It.
yeah, I listened to it about 4 days ago. Hey, I'm gonna reshare my screen.
Yeah, go ahead. Let me stop mine.
So we were at Memphis East. We you mentioned how the Bible, astrology, and the Catholic Church demonized astrology and took our attention away from the
Yes.
stars, which was important. And it makes me immediately think of how we associate the stars now is like Katy Perry is a star. Those are stars to us. That's the only association in our culture we have of stars. We don't pay it. We can't even see the sky. So just a little conspiratorial conjecture. Uh, you know, Katy Perry is our star. The Rock is our star, not Cygnus X1 or I don't know.
The episode I was talking about was episode 410 of the Tinfoil Hat podcast with the Age of Aquarius with Micah Dank.
Micah Dang, Age of Aquarius. Yeah, I did listen. I'll have to listen to it, but I did.
Anyway, I thought you would be interested in that, considering that we had a whole 4 episodes about basically that subject.
Well, you thought right because I'm interested. Now, where were we?
We were talking about the location of why she chose Memphis, Egypt. The implication of why she chose Memphis, it was a capital of Egypt,
Ruling
and that's
class.
where the ruling class resided.
Yep.
Now, getting back to the boat. So the boat is symbolic of one of the Greek style boats that would traverse the Styx River and, from Dante's Inferno. And that's where Charon, the ferryman, pushes people across the river into the underworld. And the Greek actually had their own version. I mean, not the Greek, the Egyptians actually had their own version of Charon named Kurti, who was a ram-headed god of the underworld who ferried the dead on their last journey into the afterlife. And he was said to rule the afterlife with Osiris. Anyone who bathed in the river Styx was said to become indestructible, which that kind of would lead you to believe that this particular scene that Katy Perry is depicting is that she is this deity who is immortal, who's welcoming souls into the underworld. So
Yeah,
that's
it's a
the
very
initial
deep.
symbology of the opening scenes right there from the first 10 seconds of the video.
Yeah, it's a very deep symbology when you start looking into it because it goes back to Katy, the Egyptian version of the Greek version of Charon and the river Styx, which the only reason I know about the river Styx is because of video game Styx.
In the
No
band,
shit. No shit, dude. Yeah, and the band, right? That's the only
I looked it
reason I
up
know
back in
about.
the day. It was the band.
And I particularly went to a small private Christian school, so I definitely was never going to be taught Greek mythology. In all fairness, they do teach those basic courses at public schools. So had I went to public school, I might be more exposed to things like Styx, but it still goes to show in today's day and age, there are large factions, institutions. I'm an example of the indoctrination where these things are just not taught to you. You can go your whole life not ever really, not ever
Yeah.
getting references, not ever getting it because you don't like River Styx and here it is in a Katy Perry video. So how many people are out there that don't know but just get these things planted in their mind constantly and then when the truth comes out they're like, "Oh, that's just from like Katy Perry videos. Aphrodite, the Katy Perry song." It's like,
Yeah.
"No, we're talking about rituals and spells and global rule."
Yeah, it's all the whole video is pretty creepy, and then the lyricism's pretty creepy too. Even if you didn't
Yeah.
really know about all of this anyway, I always thought the song had a kind of a creepy vibe to it when you heard it.
It has over
So
1.5 billion views or listens combined. And that's at the time this guy wrote that article.
that is insane.
I mean, so you imagine all the eyeballs that are constantly focused on whatever these studios. I mean, it's the same studios that are pushing on these big artists: Sony, Panasonic, Disney, Viacom. It's the same big. There's no independent people that are just selling out stadiums and this is all coming through the same sausage factory and it all gets filtered the same way. Like, we always hear the tales about musicians that have to deal with suits and ties changing their artwork. And it's like,
Yeah.
why would, if they know about the business and this band is showing this potential, they should know to let the band continue their rise, but they don't. There's this agenda of do this and this and this and this, and you can have this major deal. And the things they have to do is just, who's in charge, like, and why. And it's because this super deep symbology is like, this isn't an accident to me.
No, I mean it's a pretty
I'm
goddamn
impressed.
strange coincidence if like they were managed to fit all of this symbolism into this video and not realize it.
Yeah, like Katy Perry wrote this song on her piano because she's this songwriter, and those are her lyrics. And it all just happened that the studio was like, "Whoa, we have this idea because I've been studying mythology deeply, and I've come up with this." It's like they don't have time for that when you're cranking it out. It's they know what they're doing, and
Oh yeah, I mean we
it's
could probably look up. Let's look up who wrote the song.
basically what I'm saying is I find it impressive on a personal level that these studios and these producers know this much about mythology and then put it in their work. I'm impressed. Like, that's really impressive.
So that song was written by Katy Perry, Jordan Houston, Lucas Gottwald, Sarah Hudson, Mark Martin, and Henry Walter.
God dang.
So quite a few writers on that. I don't know any of those people.
They're
but
probably CIA assets.
probably. But yeah, so it would be very strange if like she would just happen to trip over this. So it's kind of hard to deny that some of this was intentional.
The ram-headed god of the underworld. Yeah, like it's definitely. I mean, because some of these details are just details. Like, how do you know? And it's details upon details. Like this whole river Styx thing, the cat heads, which represents Leo, which is the constellation of Aphrodite. Her seductive
Oh,
rule.
see, I didn't even catch that. The
Yeah,
cat.
yeah. Leo, Aphrodite, Leo.
That is true.
The lion, the Sphinx. Some people think that the Sphinx is a lion, other because it might have been built at the age of Leo. Other people rightly think that it is a dog because Anubis is the mythological guard dog of Osiris. So there's these two opposing theories that hold weight, but yeah, Aphrodite is Leo.
Yeah, and we'll get to the Aphrodite line, which she has a line talking about.
Yeah. But the ram-headed god, when you see that ram head, it represents so much. Baphomet, the devil, the ram-headed god, the underworld.
But isn't the ram head also symbolic of a certain astrological sign as well?
Taurus.
Let me see.
Taurus Pleiades. Check out that episode. Halloween. The asteroid attack.
Aries.
Aries. The bull is Aries? Or the ram? Oh, the ram head. I'm confusing ram with bull. Yeah, Aries.
So, I'm just kind of looking for the astrological thread.
Yeah, so.
So yeah, so we have this already deep symbolical scene opening the video with the location and her on this boat, symbolic of crossing the river Styx with her servants, and then it pans to her with. Do you have the photo of her with the eye of Horus spray painted in her hair in blue?
Absolutely, I do, but it's all in order. So my pictures have not gotten to your part yet. I did want to back up a little bit because anyone who bathed in the river of Styx, guided by the ram-headed god of the underworld or whatever, Katy, the Egyptian version of Sharon, was said to be indestructible. So it carries this. What's the word when you can never die?
Undead.
That's the noun for one who can never die, but the actual
immortal.
Yeah, so immortality.
So yeah, for Katy Perry's this immortal, that's welcome you.
But those blue figures, and then the Sphinx, and then in this picture, that's beautiful artwork. The blue and the pink, love it. There it is.
Yeah, so the Eye of Horus, and Horus was Osiris's. So that's kind of an extension from the Katy and Osiris.
Oh, the Eye of Horus is very deep symbology. The Illuminati eye, the all-seeing eye, the Osirian religion.
It's on our money.
Yeah, there's so much loaded in the Eye of Horus.
It could be evocative of the third eye or the pineal gland.
I mean, come on, they spray painted on her hair.
Yeah, you can't get any more overt than that, right?
Yeah. And then they even put her eyelashes in the same way. They gave it that extra.
Yeah, that is true. I didn't even pick up on the eyeshadow.
Yeah.
Well, the makeup there kind of giving her both two of them there.
Yeah, so it has the Illuminati symbology, the all-seeing eye, because it's spiritually the third eye. It represents the all-seeing eye of the inner world, consciousness or God or whatever, and the Horus connection to Osiris, the Osirian religion cycle of moving. So it's like a really loaded symbol, basically. Go on. What were you saying?
And no, you were kind of already taking what I was saying out of my mouth. So it basically evokes the floodgates through which illumination pours, and that's how the top down control is supposedly handled in regards to the Illuminati.
It's funny that Wikipedia says it represents protection, royal power, and good health. Like every time you go to a mainstream establishment that has the finger of the intelligence agencies in it, you always get this really positive, altruistic definition that just... even Skull and Bones, Wikipedia says it was a disagreement between two frat parties because of an award ceremony. It's like, oh, that's so much fun, frat parties. Then you move on.
So, so that's pretty overt there with the Eye of Horus spray painted on her hair. And then, it shows those blue... Do you have a photo of those blue guys, the blue servants, the slaves that she has on the boat?
Devil horns.
Well, she's doing the devil horns right there. But so in this particular shot, you have the guys in blue. They have cages on their head, which could also be a reference to, imprisoned from enlightenment. essentially. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Because she is basically, the lyrics are this this seductive contract and her becoming powerful over you. Like, are you ready for this magic? But don't become my enemy. And that's very much like Dionysus, the counterpart to Aphrodite. Remember the last episode we talked about Dionysus, and his thysphorus, whatever you call it, is both a positive thing to bestow blessing, but also to destroy any opposition to his cult. And his cult was freeing you from the burden of politics and government through alcohol and dancing, and freeing your spirit. And then if you go away from his freedom cult, basically, he destroys you. And that's her whole thing here. Aphrodite is the same thing. Like, that contract is Dionysus like, and that is just another deep connection that they just happen to get right. Like, she just happened to write these lyrics, and they just happened to, I mean, they're nailing it on accident. They're recreating really ancient mythology if they're not doing this on purpose.
Basically, hey, here, let's make a deal with the devil. Make your life...
deal with the devil.
We'll give you a deal with the devil, and you can have, all the things that you desire in your life that are not necessarily good for you, but that you may pawn after and desire, and I'll take your soul in exchange for it.
Yeah, and that's what the cages on the head represent, the servant servitude.
I'll live a dumb, stupid, fat, happy life, but, I'll be stuck in this system where I'm not really able to reach true enlightenment.
How am I supposed to put my face in her butt when I got a cage around my head?
Right? How are you supposed to eat ass?
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do here? All right, so then, and then then the lyrics start. Let's see. The first verse starts with, "I knew you were going to come to me, and here you are, but you better choose carefully, because I'm capable of anything and everything." So already, she's coming at you like she's some omnipotent being. She knew you were coming.
Mm-hmm.
I have a choice for you, but make sure you choose carefully, because I'm capable of basically doing anything. And then she goes on to, "Make me your Aphrodite, make me your one and only, but don't make me your enemy, your enemy, your enemy."
Repeated it 3 times.
Yep. So we'll start with the Aphrodite piece, right? So you know more at this point about Greek mythology than me, so you can kind of break down the Greek thread there.
I would say refer to the last episode, because I don't remember everything I said. But yeah, Aphrodite is the goddess that is credited by that guy who made a statue of her in Attica, Egypt, because she brought together the different tribes of Attica and all that into the Athenians. And she brought political cohesiveness to the land, and she actually has a statue by a real guy that made it back in the day to commemorate that. So it kind of makes me think she was like this real person, but she represents like carnal love and beauty and pleasure, and has kind of a seductive side too.
Yeah, and she was basically so hot that, the other gods were worried she would start wars.
Yeah, oh yeah, she was cheating on her husband. Who was her husband? Ares? She's daughter
on her husband with Ares.
With Ares, yeah, she was a promiscuous one.
Yeah, she's very promiscuous. But she wanted to basically she wanted to be idolized, right?
Yep. Worship me is her whole thing.
And then and she says, "Don't make me your enemy. Make me only your leader. Don't make me your enemy." So you could say that maybe she's preparing for some kind of war right here, right?
But the three things, the 3 things that make me your enemy, your enemy, your enemy, repeating it 3 times. I mean, musically it fits too, but just another thread, another layer is that occultically repeating something 3 times is the way to enforce a magical evocation.
Yeah, like Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Yeah, that's where that comes from, is actual ancient occultic, practices. That's not some witch made up thing in the Renaissance or something. That's the 3, and the repeating it 3 times is a structure of the practice dating back as old as time.
So, and then she actually talks about magic in the very next line.
She does.
So she says, "You want to play with magic, boy? You should know what you're falling for. Baby, do you dare to do this? Because I'm coming at you like a dark horse." So, all right. So we're told to choose carefully. She's capable of doing anything, and now she's saying, "All right, well, here you go. You want to play with magic?" She waves her hand like she's casting a spell. Then you have a small pink light that appeared in her palm, and the guy that she is addressing smiles, and all of a sudden he has a diamond in his hand. Right, so she's able to give this guy anything, right?
Yeah, I don't have a picture of it, but she's actually throwing the spell out of her hand in the video. You know, I didn't pick up on it when I was going through it at the time because I was like, oh, I don't know what that means, but that's actually the casting of the spell at that point, at that lyrical point in time. But go ahead.
No, you're good. She says, know what you're falling for. The offer to play with magic is that old deal with the devil that we were just referring to.
This picture that I'm showing, you see that picture I'm showing?
Yeah, with the phallic shaped treats.
Yeah, just another layer of Aphrodite is that the Aphrodisia festival that celebrates her. Part of the preparation is releasing goats and hares, which or just hares, but those represent like carnal sex and fertility. And one of the preparations for that is purple fabrics, which there's lots of purple in this video for Aphrodite, and the blue. But this is one of those things. Is it phallic or phallus? Phallic shaped breads. It looks like Twinkies. They even included that. Like they knew about the phallic shaped bread that is customary for the celebration of Aphrodite, the Aphrodisia festival in ancient Greek, this orgy weekend. And they even put that in the video. There's a picture of it here. It's like a pyramid of Twinkies, basically.
Another oops coincidence. I don't know.
Yeah. What a detail to put in there. Like somebody was like, oh, wait. Let's make a pyramid out of Twinkies.
Where's the dick bread? Where's the dick?
Like if anybody offered an idea to make a pyramid out of Twinkies, they'd be like, get the fuck out of here. We have enough shit to do already with CGI lasers. But they put it. They put it.
Yeah, they made it a prominent scene in the video.
Yeah, prominent scene. I mean, it got like.
it had its own cut. They cut to it. It wasn't like
multiple shots.
It wasn't background, right?
Yeah, there's an aerial photo. This picture I have is not zoomed in on it. It is the whole picture, and then there's an aerial photo too. Like, it's crazy. It is the scene and the purple and the pink. I mean, purple is that color for Aphrodite. Okay, so carry on, Jesse.
No, you're good. So we have this deal with the devil that we're able to make, right? Basically, we can give you fame, power, or whatever you want in this life that you may desire, but we're going to give you in exchange for servitude of your soul in the afterlife. Yeah,
and it shows that guy having a diamond put in his hand because he agrees to her spell. So she like gave him a reward for agreeing to her contract.
Yep. And then it takes a jump into, and I learned what this word meant from this essay, but eschatological conditions. I'm going to say this.
That was good.
Eschatology is basically the part of theology concerned with death, judgment, and the final destiny of the soul and of humankind.
I mean, anytime you see the Eye of Horus, you bring in the Osirian religion, which is centered around the journey of the soul. Like, that is so prominent in this video as the eschatological symbolisms.
And then she talks about the dark horse, right? So
this is fascinating.
This is the most popular reference would be, if you're into Christianity, and it will come from the Book of Revelations, after the opening of the third seal of the Apocalypse. The apocalypse doesn't just happen all at once. There's 7 seals that preceded the opening of each, signaling another step closer to the actual occurrence. The apocalypse literally means new beginning. So
it's not like the end of the world. It would be like a reinvention of principles, the whole Green New Deal and this new fossil fuel, and we got to change the way we do things, and we got to all that stuff, and how everything right now is wrong, and we're having to redo it all.
World Economic Forum.
Yeah, World Economic Forum. There you go. Let's see with the big words.
But yeah, so it means new beginning. But the dark
Interesting.
horse referred to here, that it could be a figure generally considered to be Satan or an emissary of Satan. It's the third of the seven seals, and it comes in with a golden scale and basically the ideology of the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. The quote from the Bible is literally, when the Lamb broke the third seal, I heard the third living being say, "Come." And I looked up and saw a black horse, and its rider was holding a pair of scales in his hand. And a voice from among the four living beings said, "A loaf of wheat bread or 3 loaves of barley for a day's pay. And don't waste the olive oil and wine."
It's fucked up.
So it's fucked up.
So that dark horse represents the third apocalypse when they come running in and deny everybody sustenance, basically.
Yep, basically.
But that picture is combined because she's not holding the scales. What was it that they held? Holding a pair of scales. She's holding the sword.
And that's on her album cover.
Yeah, that's the album cover. She's riding a dark horse, which represents the third seal of the apocalypse.
And just
where they
share the screen and just pull up the album cover, or just Google the album cover.
Can you share it? You have the images?
Yeah, let me pull it up.
Oh, I thought you had the images ready. Okay, I guess I could have pulled it up.
No, that's good.
Yeah, so she's holding a sword representing the third seal of the apocalypse. No, second seal. The dark horse is the third. The sword she's holding is the second. So it's like an amalgamation of the two into one. And the second with the sword is the one that starts the wars.
Yeah, it's like a combination of both of the second and third seal of the seven seals.
The ruling elite of Memphis, Egypt, denying sustenance to the working class and starting the wars and the fighting.
Yep. So there we go. Another oops, didn't know how that symbology got in there.
Yeah, right? Black horses are beautiful, and I thought she needed a sword to look strong.
It could all be a coincidence, guys. It really could, but I don't know. It's pretty unlikely to me.
Hey, and let's check this out, because Aphrodite rode the white goat. They rode white goats at the festival of Aphrodisia, which represents carnal pleasure. The riding of a white male goat represents carnal pleasures and sex. And it was like an orgy weekend. So her riding that horse could be a third meaning, like the white male goat with the black. I don't see a big horse dick right there, so maybe black female horse.
Maybe so, or maybe that's a male horse and his dick's not out. The other quote just for the second seal was, "And when the Lamb opened the second seal, I heard the second living creature say, 'Come.' Then another horse went forth. It was bright red, and its rider was granted permission to take peace from the earth and to make men slay one another. And he was given a great sword." So she's on a horse carrying a sword, right? But it's a dark horse. So like you said, it's like that mashup between the second and third seals, bringing war and famine to the earth. And the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor part of that whole thing is, in that Bible verse, he's saying that they're only going to get basically shit pay, just a loaf of wheat bread or 3 loaves of barley for a whole day's pay. But we're not going to waste olive oil and wine, the things that are finer in life, on you.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, it's very fucked up.
It's basically what they're doing right now with the stimulus package and all the Congress voting no and aid for all and giving our money to other countries.
That is fucking insane, right? This whole thing.
I mean, that's the second seal of the third seal of the apocalypse, right?
Losing their houses and losing their homes because they've been locked down and unable to work for 9 months or however long it's been. And our leaders can't even come to an agreement to whether they give us $600 or $2,000, but we're okay with giving, million or billions to other countries in aid before they're willing to lend a helping hand to its own citizens. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's for another episode, right?
Yeah, we should do one on how fucked we got this year.
Yeah, we'll just do a 2020 recap, the beginning of January. That'll be our next episode.
Sure, man, that'd be great. So
Yeah.
this picture right here, I pulled it up in the article, shows the body lighting up. Her body is lighting up blue, and that is part of a Bible verse as well that says if you have eyes to see that are healthy, it will light up your body. I'm paraphrasing.
The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light.
Yes, so her body is full of light right here, coming from the Sphinx charging her up. So I guess that's plugging that verse, showing that she has the way. She is the way. She's got what you want. She's got that healthy, do what she wants you to do, and you'll light up too.
Well, what's really crazy about that particular scene, is it's not just her body lighting up. That's actually the eyes of the Sphinx. So it's actually showing you both, like, the eyes are lighting up, and her body is lighting up, right?
The Sphinx eyes, yeah, the eyes of the Sphinx are lighting. Oh,
yeah.
Still with the cages around their heads, still with the cat heads, the Sphinx right behind her, and all that symbology on the wall. Like,
I was about to
rules.
say, like, I wonder. We haven't even really. I haven't dug into that at all, but I'm sure that has some meaning to it as well.
Oh, dude, you could go so deep.
Hieroglyphs.
Oh yeah, like interpret those hieroglyphs and see what they mean, and if there's a message in it, like how the frick did they get understanding of hieroglyphs? Just to throw it in a little scene. It's just pure conjecture, though, because I don't know what those hieroglyphs mean, but it looks real.
Me either.
Looks accurate. It's a lot of work, dude. Get all them eagles and...
This whole set looks like a lot of work.
Oh, dude.
Or, I mean, like, all CGI, which is still a lot of fucking work.
Yeah.
On a computer.
Those dudes are jacked, too.
They've been doing the kettlebell killer workout. All right. And then her spell continues. So, are you ready for a perfect storm? Perfect storm. Because once you're mine, there's no going back. So, that is a whole lot packed in that as well.
Yeah, that whole sequence plays.
Back. And then, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying that whole sequence just plays out the contract of him going back and turning into red dust and losing the diamond, and then she takes the diamond back. She takes back that which she gave him for his soul.
Yeah, and she like licks her lips as she's saying, "Once you're mine, once you're mine."
Yeah,
she's lusting for his soul.
This picture here, she's got that headdress around her. Lots of purple. That is cultural appropriation. Her dreadlocks are cultural appropriation. I don't care what you say. Yeah, exactly, right? Where's all the wokeness for that? I don't even want to get started. It's too obvious. It's too easy of a target.
That's the new religion. That's the religion of the age of Aquarius. Anyway, because we're coming from the age of Scorpio.
Yeah, wasn't that
the age of Pisces, which was the Christian religion, right?
Was
the two fish.
Right.
Right. Now
was
religion.
Was the conjunction event the other night the beginning of the new age?
I think it had already started before that. It was supposed to be a very, powerful astrological event, but I think we were already in the age of Aquarius prior to that. I think and you might have to check me on this, but I believe that had to do with 2012, right? Where we actually moved into the age of Aquarius, and that's where we all thought the world was going to end based on the Mayan calendar.
Right.
Really just predicting, the end of the age.
We're such basic creatures.
We are. All right, where do we leave off? So she basically put the bling in her mouth and
put them diamonds in her mouth.
Let me see here.
The Sphinx talks to her as well, which that starts to get into the riddle. She says, "Why do you want to know?" And then she says, "Because I want to know." And then she says, "Why do you want to know?" And then she says, "Because I want to know." And then she says, "Why do you want to know?" And then she says, "Because I want to know." And then she says, "Why do you want to know?" And then she says, "Because I want to know." And then she says, "Why do you want to know?" And then she says, "Because I want to know." And then she says, "Why do you want to know?" And then she says, "Because I want to know." And then she says, "Why do you want to know?" And then she says, "Because I want to know." And then she says, "Why do you want to know?" And then she says, "Because I want to know." And then she says, "Why do you want to know?" And then she says, "Because I want to know." And then she says, "Why do you want to know?" And then she says, "Because I want to know." And then she says, "Why do you want to know?" And then she says, "Because I want to know." And then she says, "Why do you want to know?" And then she says, "Because what was it? The riddle of transformation. Because the Sphinx talks and says something. What does he say? What's his lyric? There's no going back.
Back, yeah, before the
Yeah.
future.
So his mouth moves on the Sphinx when he does that. There might be a picture in here. Nope. I think that's where he talks right here. Right before he turns into sand because he goes back. There's no going.
And
So
then there's a whole like blurb in the essay that talks about that. Like as the Greek play goes, you know,
who's that? Oedipus?
Oedipus knowingly kills the king, his father, on his way into town, gets to town and discovers the Sphinx now rules tyrannically because the king is dead. Oedipus is given a chance to be the king if he can solve the Sphinx's riddle. Answer it correctly, be crowned king and save the Theban people. Answer it incorrectly, be killed, and the fate of his people is sealed. The riddle Oedipus was given it is, what walks with 4 legs in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and 3 in the evening? The answer is man.
Which I don't get.
Me either. I sat there and thought about that for a second. I was like, I'm too stupid for this fucking riddle. Oedipus, he got the riddle correct. He was able to save himself and his people. So the significance of the Sphinx saying there's no going back in the video is a representation of this riddle of existence, the purpose of our souls as humans in the world. You know, once we've made a decision that is tied to the answer to the riddle of man, there's no going back.
Yep.
And then there's in the upcoming verse, it's a yes or no maybe. In other words, you know, there are no gray area when it comes to freedom. You're either free or you aren't. So, thought that was another interesting part of the video. That could be totally, hey, they did it just for visual effect, total coincidence, or there's some deep symbology there as well.
Yeah, her next lyrics, I finally think I understand it. Mark my words, this love will make you levitate like a bird without a cage. The bird without a cage, the cage around the head, free, because you're not having your what was that word earlier? Enlightenment? Servitude. Controlling your brain.
Servitude.
Mentally locked down. Whatever the cage around the head represents. I can't think of that right word. But then it says, but down to earth, if you choose to walk away, don't walk away. Down to earth, differentiating between heaven and earth. The free realm, the spiritual realm, the enlightened realm. The one we can never get to because we're in contractual obligation to this dark power with nice tits.
Yep. Dark power and nice tits. That's the episode title right there.
Okay.
But yeah, so you'll be powerful, you'll be free as a bird, but down to earth. That is to say, you will not enjoy the realms of heaven. The realms of heaven are considered to be located in the firmament, and that's only where holy beings like angels and gods reside. And then there's the earth, where the energies of God in heaven are present, but they're not dominant. So while they are also competing with Satan's control over earth, as they are also competing with Satan's control over earth. So there you have, you know, kind of the meaning behind that kind of simple line there. But it's kind of crazy that, once again, like, you would think that this is all just a coincidence and none of this has any of this deep symbology behind it.
Yeah,
but
this
was
was
a major pop song, right?
Right, yeah. One of many, by the way.
Yeah.
One of many songs spanning decades of songs. I mean, it's crazy. This was interesting too. The blind lady Justice with her sword and scales comes from the Greek goddess Themis. Contract law. The blind lady with her scales. What did she have to do with anything? I just see the picture and it reminded me. Oh, that's what you were talking about. Satan's control. Perry's final line, there's a piece of magic. But down to earth, if you choose to walk away, don't walk away.
Well, it's that kind of, remember that, you know, the second and third seals of the apocalypse. You know, the second seal is on a horse holding a sword. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's on a horse holding a sword, and then the third seal comes in holding these black scales.
Right, and Lady Justice is holding Themis, the goddess Themis is holding both.
Yeah.
And she's blind, she can't see, and she's gonna, use a scale? Come on, you need your eyes holding the sword. Can't see. They're basically just telling you, we don't know what the fuck you're doing, but you're going to do what we tell you anyway.
Yep. And then so in the very next line, she says it's in the palm of your hand now. It's a yes or no, no maybe, which means it's a yes or a no. There's no maybe in this situation is basically what she's saying right there. So just be sure you give it all to me, give it all to me. Oh, so she says, so just be sure before you give it all to me. I mean, give it all to me. So that very last "give it all to me" is almost like a, hey, I'm telling you, I'm giving you the out right now. So just make sure that before you give it all to me, it all comes to me. And then she says again, "Give it all to me," as in like she's kind of begging for it, right?
That's an occultic thing, a Satanist thing. Like you can't, a demon can't possess your body unless you allow it, and that's how, to make the big jump. Just to what I'm getting at is that, like false flags, terrorist attacks, there's always predictive programming. There was narratives for years building up anthrax attacks and the threat of terrorism from the Middle East in the news. When finally it actually happened, and then everyone was like, "Oh my God, the news was right." They build this narrative and they start priming you, and they basically let you know what they're going to do ahead of time. Event 201. The things that predicted coronavirus before coronavirus, Bill Gates coming out and talking about it way before coronavirus. Like they let you know before it happens, because that's the satanic way of seducing the masses for your control, is to give them an out. So they're justified.
It's a contract.
Yeah. And we didn't know we were taking it because we didn't have the eyes to see or the ears to hear.
Right.
What they were offering.
I mean, you have the power to decide, but it's a contract. They're gonna also just make it very easy to decide.
But they put it out there beforehand so they can be like, "Well, we told you, you just didn't pick up on it."
Yes. Yes.
Because I mean, go watch the Event 201 video, and then what's that other one? Project. There's a second one, even further back where they met and drilled for a pandemic. These two official meetings, Event 201, this, and then act like they're not predicting it. Coronavirus. Yeah, Event 201's a big deal. You don't know about that? I've definitely talked about it before.
Maybe you haven't. Maybe I do know about it. Let me see. Oh yeah. Oh, I remember this.
Yeah.
We did talk about this.
Yeah. It's basically a conference table of powerful people that are discussing, before coronavirus, months before everything happened, they were discussing the possibility of a pandemic and what they would do and how they would allocate funds and who would do what and where this. They were basically talking about a drill of a pandemic. How did we
fuck this up so bad?
And everything they talked about took place, and they did everything they said they would, which is
right at the bottom. World Economic Forum.
Like it was right in front of our face, but nobody was paying attention until after coronavirus hits, and then it's all conspiracy theories, and then Twitter starts de-algorithming people sharing this video, and you start talking about COVID conspiracies, and YouTube bans you, and conspiracy theory.
Man. The deeper I get into, like right when we started this podcast, I would say I knew probably nothing about conspiracies, but the deeper I get into all of this shit, the more of a believer I become in these conspiratorial things and ideas and stuff. I used to be very skeptical about it. I mean, you know that. That's when we started this. You were supposed to be showing me conspiracies, and then I was supposed to be debating on them. But now I'm just agreeing with fucking everything you're saying. Oh yeah, this is kind of crazy. This shit couldn't be a coincidence.
I know, right? It's wild.
Yeah.
Look, this is what I always come back to. At the very least, it is not something you can mock and dismiss as if it's nothing, which is what a lot of people tend to do.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's healthy to question things, you know what? So I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed this whole process of, going down these rabbit holes and having my mind blown by all these these powerful ties between, I mean, these ties between powerful people, and then the cover-ups of like ancient knowledge that we should all know about, and
Mm-hmm.
been very, very, very interesting to me. But
Yeah,
anyway,
it's forcing me to learn more about the stuff I talk about without knowing as much as I
right.
probably should before I talk about it.
Yeah, fuck it. We're just, this is a podcast. We're having fun too.
I
But
can't wait to break down a Cardi B music video and look at pictures of butts the whole time we talk about symbolism.
that'll
That
be
would be
really
like the
cool.
perfect
You
episode.
know what? If we fucking find symbolism in a Cardi B video, um, like this, I'd say that we're really on to the powerful elites, using pop music to control the masses,
The
right?
most popular people that are the most sellouts are the ones that are going to have the most symbology and propaganda pumped into their shit. So we probably should. I would say Bad Baby would be an awesome one to break down because that girl is so sold out.
Yeah, you're right.
Like she's not at a piano writing songs because, and being the disciplined artist because she's a songwriter. She's continuing to sign contracts and do what she has to do from the system
Let's
to
just
keep
start
making that. I mean,
talking real.
I know, Cash Me Outside, and then the system picks her up and makes her an artist, and now she is part of the music. People look at her and listen to her and be like, "I love music." It's like they do. Like this is the furthest thing from music. Could not be more obvious. It's just this. I don't know what it is.
It's insane. It's insanity, is what it is.
That's it. That is what it is.
This picture of Katy Perry right here, like as she's waiting for your decision or your choice, that's very creepy too.
Yeah, it
Just
is.
the way she looks in it.
Yeah. I watched Elf last night, and Will Ferrell creeped me out in Elf.
Did he? You
Yeah, it's
think
like a.
Will Ferrell's part of the Illuminati as well?
Have you seen that video, the SNL skit where they were covered in blood and dressed up as weird characters and screaming like demons, and he was repeating the whole time, "This is not art. This is not art." It's super weird. It's weirder than it sounds. So that's my answer to your question. He's part of something after that skit.
What?
I mean, it was not even a comedy skit. It was recent, man. You haven't seen that?
I have to go watch that.
It was like a person coming out of a womb covered in blood with other people covered in. It was super disgusting and bloody. And this is not art. This is satanic. It was so obvious. You kind of don't notice it. Like, oh, this is just ridiculous. Like, this is straight up like a visual sacrifice, just some dark stuff going on national TV. Like, right when the pandemic hit and everyone's watching TV, they pull this shit. So I think something's happening up there at the top.
That's weird.
Yeah. Try to.
I gotta go watch that.
Let me try to pull it out. I don't want to waste time. I know we have a hard stop, but it's worth it if I can find it. Will Ferrell, SNL,
It was on SNL.
bloody weird skit. Yeah. The Chris Gethard Show. Will Ferrell performs a ritual. The Chris
That's from
Gethard Show.
2018. Actually, though, that wasn't during the pandemic.
Oh, was it?
Oh, it was in 2018. That's what that date just said.
It went viral during the pandemic. That's when I started seeing it passed around.
All right, with the horns on his head and shit. What the fuck?
Yeah, it is that. It is that with the horns on his head. It's a long skit.
Yeah, we're not gonna watch the whole skit, but
We'll probably get pulled for playing it, but
yeah, probably. What the fuck?
yeah, he's Baphomet Horn's head, and there's like all those people behind him. And then
It's on fucking.
So I'm just showing screen clips basically, and then you skip forward, and these people are covered in blood, and the whole time they're saying, "This is not art." Right here.
What the fuck am I watching?
They're all covered in blood.
A ritual of Will Ferrell performs a ritual. Go watch this clip, folks. Will Ferrell performs a ritual of the minds. Yeah, it's on True TV, so it can't be. Can't be too serious, right?
Look at that. Oh, it's so weird, man.
That is fucking
So is he
strange.
a part of the
Wasn't even
Illuminati?
funny. That's what the
I
thing is.
know, I know. Like, there's no.
Like if it was like really, if it was like really funny. Like if it was making fun of a specific, crazy, kooky conspiracy club or cult or something like that. But it was like nothing well known enough for me to kind of understand.
Maybe they are. Maybe at the break of the Epstein stuff, they came out with this to totally mock the idea of child eating and blood sacrifice and
You're right, because that was around the
adrenochrome.
time. That was around that time when the Epstein
Yeah.
stuff broke.
I mean, it totally could be a mockery of that idea just to kind of get people off of their backs. Fucking Epstein had a sacrifice temple on his island, man.
Yeah.
Like, people aren't.
Let's go fucking break into that thing and see what's inside of it.
Yeah, and there was drone pictures through his window that showed a computer, and it was circulating like what's on this computer. And then the FBI raided it days later. This was when it all happened. So the FBI got there and raided the place, and they didn't report on the computer. And the drone went back and took a picture, and the computer wasn't there. So that computer just gone. No one ever reported on it. SWAT.
Right.
Unless it was.
I'm sure we're getting that, dude. Look, the government has our best interest at heart, Dylan. I'm sure we're getting the full story and picture of what's happening with Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, so
they're passionate.
That guy was really upset with what he did with him. He had a lot of time to think while he was in jail. That's why he hung himself. Right. So I don't think it was like the government's being truthful about this, Dylan. They're telling us everything. So
they're passionate.
The FBI says it wasn't a computer. There was not a computer. Okay.
We shouldn't worry about it. You're right, man. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna get me fucking killed. No.
Don't narc on me for not wearing a mask during the. Hey, did you see the rumor that Bill Clinton died and they're going to come public with it soon? It could be bullshit. But
what?
Yeah, the rumor Bill Clinton passed away and they're going to make it public soon. Could be bullshit. I just saw it. We'll see what happens. You haven't seen that? Okay, maybe it's BS, but
now you got me. We're almost at the end of the breakdown of this video.
Yeah.
So we can kind of. Because I mean, pretty much that's the gist of the video, right? Katy Perry's this who's giving you a decision where you can have, the fame and fortune and the wonders of the world, but she's going to take your soul in exchange for it. And there's all this symbology around it that is pointing to this contract. And even whenever the rapper Juicy J
she's
comes
a beast.
Yep. I call her Karma. She eats your heart out like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, so karma means comeback. So there's a plug to her coming back to get you for not filling your. She's not going to go away. She's once you make that contract, but she's a beast. It could easily be she's a beast. People say that, but that's not flattering to say a girl is a beast after you have sex and then you tell your friends like, man, is she a beast, ball, babe, you a beast, girl. Like, oh, thank you, honey. It's like a plug to Satan, the beast, the 666 beast.
And that once again though, right before that verse comes in, she pleads again. So be sure before you give it all to me, give it all to me. Here we again have that 3 times spoken repetition of giving it all to her, trying to invoke that charm.
Mm-hmm.
And she's covering her contractual bases there, right? So that where she gives you the out once again.
And then she randomly eats a flaming hot Cheeto and then drinks.
That was a weird part of the video.
Well, I think it just, I guess now it's clicking that when they give her the small cup to satiate her thirst, there's nothing in there, and then she turns that guy to dust like, oh, fuck you, you're worthless because you don't serve me right. So that's kind of showing you her power if you don't serve her right. And then she gets this obnoxiously large cup. I mean, come on, you got to kill the guy because you didn't get a 5-gallon bucket to drink out of? Come on.
What a bitch.
Oh, and look, the scarab on her ring. Look at that. I just found out that the scarab.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
You know why the scarab was a sacred beetle?
Why?
To ancient Egypt? Because it always goes in a straight line when it's rolling dung in the direction of the Milky Way. In 2013, they found that out. It follows the Milky Way.
Whoa.
Yeah, it rolls dung in the direction of wherever the Milky Way is.
That's once again just another weird coincidence, Dylan. She just thought She thought a scarab was pretty, so she put a scarab ring on for the
Yeah, what girl doesn't want a solid gold dung beetle?
dung beetle on her hand. Yeah.
Babe, will you marry me? Like, imagine you're gonna propose to Aphrodite, the cruelest bitch ever. The last ring you're gonna get her is a dung beetle ring. Like,
Shit
she's
beetle.
definitely gonna strike you down into red dust.
Yeah.
How you supposed to please this woman? Shit.
And then is that tattoos or is that just her dress that she has on?
That's a skin tight dress. That's some intense tattoos, man. Dang. Ooh, bro, that's some good color work too.
Hey, bro, I've seen some insane looking tattoos.
She eats your heart out like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, and I don't know that this verse is too deep and has as much symbolism as the lyrics of the rest of the song there.
What did you find on Bill Clinton?
Oh, nothing. I wanted to look into that. Is Bill Clinton dead?
Yeah, I'll let you screen share. Because that's all for that. That's fun, though. That's a fun breakdown.
Yeah, so yeah, I was actually surprised at how, and when you told me we got to do an episode on Katy Perry's Dark Horse video, I was like, I don't know how much shit we're gonna find in here, but surprisingly, a lot of
Yeah,
shit.
right.
A lot of shit that just seems like too much to be a coincidence.
Yeah,
like they just thought it was, oh, this is gonna be fun. We're gonna do a video based around Egypt.
Yeah,
and
like
no, there's just a.
How do these pop studios have such deep knowledge of mythological symbolism? Like, did they go to school for Greek mythology? Do they? I'm just saying, I'm personally impressed that they're that versed to know. It's truly like, whether it's a conspiracy or not, it's pretty impressive. Because if I shot a music video, I would not be structuring it around. I mean, they don't always structure them around occultic things, but
I could tell you how Golgotha does music videos.
How y'all read Bible verses and then
Oh. We just think of ridiculous shit that's going to shock people and we put it in the video. I think our next video's concepts are going to be, it's all comedic though. The next video's concept's going to be like, there's a scene with each of us in our full Golgotha gear, killing somebody, but it's going to be like, I'll give you an example. So like for my scene, I'll be like walking my dog around the block and then see one of my neighbors walking their dog and their dog shits on my lawn, but they don't pick up the shit. So then the next scene, it cuts to me like murdering them in my garage because I didn't pick up the shit off my yard, things like that. So that's how we come up with it. It's very deep, very deep.
Man. Hey,
lots
man,
of symbology in there.
Yeah, that's super deep. That's like Mesopotamian.
So that's a Golgotha video. No, I don't know how the pros do it though. Like how they sit down and come up with these themes and.
Dude, throw some purple
elaborate sets up and set up art and set up all this elaborate CGI. You know how much it probably costed to make that video? And
to hire the Greek mythology expert to structure it.
But it also perfectly matched up with her lyrics too, which I'm sure came out before the video. And then you have the album cover, which is the second and third series.
I mean, through and through, they were pushing this thing.
Right.
Through and through, they were pushing it. They got it. They were accurate.
Yeah.
They took the time to build a goddamn pyramid out of Twinkies.
Out of dick bread.
And make it. And whoever. Fucking go ask everybody until you die. Ask everybody until you die that you can. What were some of the customs for the festival of Aphrodisia? I guarantee you the only people that will ever answer purple phallic-shaped bread will be like college graduates that studied Greek mythology. Like, no one knows that shit is what I'm saying. And they got that in there. That's my smoking gun, is the Twinkie pyramid. That's the only scene you need.
Just the pyramid of dick bread.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, so that was a cool breakdown. I found more in there than I thought I would whenever I start researching this stuff. So like I said, you're opening my eyes to more and more stuff. You give me these little nuggets of truth to go research, and then I go down these rabbit holes, and then I'm like, oh, so maybe these conspiracy theorists aren't as crazy as everyone says they are.
That's a great thing, but my eyes are opening too because I'm using this podcast as a reason to research deeper into things I want to know more about, but just know, like, heard about.
Yeah. And this is all new to me, so like it's all fresh subjects for me. You know, Saturnalia, all that stuff. You know, that you'd
Mm-hmm.
be open eyes to. The Skull and Bone Society. I didn't know anything about that before this podcast. I didn't know much about, you know, how much the ancient cultures. I knew a little bit about the ancient cultures. You know, worship. You know, with their cosmological observations and how much that
Mm-hmm.
was important to them. I knew a little bit about that, but didn't go as deep as I did with the Randall Carson episode. So that was really cool.
Yeah, that was a fun series to do.
It's very fun.
I mean, there's a lot in there we could go back to and dig into and make like
4 hour lecture, you
that's
know,
a that's
and that was
forever.
packed with content in that thing.
Yeah, I mean, you could do hours and hours of research just on the shapes,
Yeah, yeah.
which
Sacred
is
geometry, and he has a whole separate course on sacred geometry.
yeah, he does, and he's got tiers. He's got the gold and the silver of the video we did and all that. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got tiers. You could go deeper and deeper. Ooh, that's an idea.
we do some sacred geometry one
Yeah,
episode.
we'll get some more Randall Carlson stuff. Hey,
But-
maybe we could interview him one day. If we keep,
Dude, if we were able to get Randall
Oh, man.
Carlson on this podcast, that would be the shit.
that would be awesome.
Seems like he's probably pretty busy guy for a podcast that
Yeah,
ours. But hey, we're getting there, folks, and one day we're actually are talking about bringing on guests. So stay tuned for that.
yeah,
We'll have
definitely.
guests in the future, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, I guess you could pay him.
Yeah, well, I wonder how much he would. Yeah, we could look into
Pay
that.
him whatever his hourly rate is, and just be like, it's an hour. Can you do half an hour? That'd be awesome. You know, just half an hour.
Yeah, that would be really cool to have him join us.
Yeah. Well, that was a fun episode.
Yeah.
Can't wait to do our next one. I don't know what the topic's going to be. We'll talk about that afterwards. But
Yeah,
I fucking logged on to Golgothan TV to watch you, but I was working and I had to like turn the video off. But it was the intro thing,
oh, it was interesting.
and I was like, dude, this is badass.
it
was good
look,
production.
we put some time and effort into production of it, so we
Yeah, I
we
can
have
tell. Well, Jai knows what the F he's doing too, from what I understand from you.
John really knows his shit, and Jarek does too. I know that Jarek's been learning a lot as well, and so
I mean,
we
you
have
gotta-
two
Where two or more are gathered together in his name, Jesse,
or more gathered together.
you can accomplish a lot of graphic design feats.
Or gathered together in Jai's name, we can. But yeah, no, they put together a nice little intro video. Like, they know how to use OBS really well, which we might switch to that, have a little bit higher production quality for you folks in the future.
Absolutely. I got a capture card, and I think I'll be able to run my GoPro as a camera, so you can see my beautiful face in 4K.
We're upgrading our gear. I've got a ring light now. What's
Do
up with
you?
that? Yeah.
Do you? Wow.
It doesn't.
Okay.
I just started using it tonight, but like, honestly though, recording off an iMac screen, it's kind of hard to use a ring light because the screen is lighting you so much already as it is.
Right.
So you have to like turn the bright. Anyway, I'll fuck with it. We're trying to get the production value up for you folks a little bit more.
Yeah.
Got
Once we
better
get
mics,
to-
better lighting and
Once
maybe
we
better
get-
programs.
Yeah, better all of that. Once we get to 100,000 subscribers, we'll upgrade our cameras and stuff. So
Yeah, once we get to 100K, that's right.
yeah,
So we're never upgrading our cameras and shit.
ever.
Maybe one day. This is very fun for me. I mean, it's actually a cool skill to kind of learn too. Podcasting is definitely a skill. I'm sure we'll get better at it as we keep going.
Definitely. Last question. Did you get the iCloud folder?
I did.
Jesse. Okay, Jesse and I are doing a new song, everybody. It's coming out.
Yes, we are. I won't be able to work on it until I get back from North Carolina, but I have a few days when I get back.
That's fine. I got to track vocals and spend time on it. So, but it is the next one I want to do ASAP. Like, I want to, because I just released that other one and I want to turn around and
Okay.
just, you
So
know,
how fast
I mean,
I got Illuminati Squatty Potty done. I can get
super fast. You had like 8 layers. It was impressive.
it done. I get it done quick.
Oh, yeah. I don't know
so-
how. I mean, it was really cool. Really, little.
I just
Yeah.
played-
So, yeah, which you can hear those guitars now because the background music's going.
Yeah. Awesome.
It'll
Well,
be-
check it out, folks.
Yeah.
Do you want me to use 7-string or use my Use a 6-string on that.
Whatever the star
Whatever strikes
gods.
me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
7-string definitely though.
All right.
I say 7-string for everything. It's so cool.
I have a really nice ESP that I had gotten fixed up a while back that I might use for this.
Not your silver one.
No, do you remember the green ESP I used to have?
Yeah. Okay. It's a 7-string.
No, that's a 6-string, but it's right
Okay.
now it's set up I think for like B standard or something like that. So it's
I mean, if you want to use that for this one.
Yeah, it's just I haven't played it for a while. It's neck through, sounds good. Jarek's been having it at his house, and I picked it up for the first time the other day again. I was like, God damn, this thing is fucking heavy. Like it just, you know how you pick up a solid guitar that's really heavy, and you're like,
Yeah.
things just feels really quality.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I've been having the itch to play it again on something, so I might go pick it up from his house and use it for this new one.
Yeah, use it for this new one. That's tight.
And it's the only guitar I have with a Floyd on it, so I can do some dive bombs and cool shit too.
Floyd Mayweather?
Floyd Rose.
Floyd Rose, okay.
Floyd Mayweather.
What's your conclusion on today's study of Katy Perry?
I think that
Gun to your head. Gun to your head.
Too many coincidences line up in the lyricism and symbology in the video for it to all be just a coincidence, and there's definitely some planned symbology behind that video.
Yeah.
And dude, just listen to the song. It's a creepy sounding song too. Even the musically, it's creepy sounding. Is it not?
It is, and it's very masterful to intentionally capture the message and the sound you want to in a song. I mean, as a songwriter, it is hard to be like, I'm going to do this and this. It's got to be creepy. It's got to be these lyrics. It's got to be these symbols. And you see, I mean, she's got 6 or 7 songwriters. Just songwriters. That's not this. I mean, there is a team of motherfuckers cranking this thing out.
Yeah. Who knows how
many people? I think it's a powerful spell, though. It really, this song pulls you in, and I mean that's what this mainstream entertainment does. The science and psychology of switching scenes fast, of bright colors, of activity, or keeping those 1.5 billion views. I mean, I would say it's got a strong hypnotic effect.
Keeping us in the low Earth orbit, right? Not letting us fly freely like a bird.
And that's always been my problem with mainstream music, is it's a lower frequency of music. It's not, I mean, unless you listen to country and get badass solos.
Yeah.
You're not really getting much. It's a low frequency of music. Like Bad Baby is the biggest star of music. That is.
I don't think that necessarily music has to be like complicated or complex for it to be meaningful or deep, but I think the subject matter and then the way that the pop songs in today's culture are structured, they are shallow, and it is intended to just keep you at this lower frequency, right? So I think you're right. Once again, though, I don't think music has to be like overly complicated for it to be good music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like simplistic sounding songs from time to time, but when it comes to pop music, I just tend not to gravitate towards it because I do like that the music with deeper meaning and I guess more enlightening, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, an awake and active brain and an awake and active soul needs to be stimulated deeper than fake MIDI synthesizer sounds.
Right.
And that tempo and that pace and that it's immediate escape because your attention can't focus. You can't read a book. People are always, I can't read, but I can't focus, blah, blah, blah. But this music just instantly grabs you and it carries you along and it just keeps you escaped.
Yes.
And music that is not like that, it can be simple, it can be not complex, but it could also require a different part of your brain where you're actually thinking and feeling.
Right. Yeah. And it could be complex too. Like I really enjoy complex instrumental music with complex, time signatures and everything like that in it. That's enjoyable to me as well. So I like that variety, but yeah, you're absolutely right. And just finding a poor way to articulate that, like, yeah, you're right. Pop music really does just have those cheap hooks that get you sucked into the music.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do, your brain's not allowed to really wander during that. And it's just like cheap. It's like processed food, right? It's like, it's like bad food for your body, right? It's just bad music for your mind, bad information.
I agree.
Your mind, right? So
I agree.
So good episode, man. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that wraps it up for today. I'll see you. Let's do one ASAP. Thanks to all the people who listened. Check out Golgothan. You guys have music. Check out
coming out too. I just finished tracking guitars for the full length this past week.
Very nice. When's that coming out?
Well, we will. I don't know when it's coming out. We will be complete with it by January 4th, though. We are probably shopping it to a few labels. That's why we have to have it done by the 4th. But if a label does end up picking it up, we have to wait until we have to wait and see about releasing it. If no one picks it up, then it'll be out early next year.
Badass.
Q1 next year. If a label picks it up, then it might be longer. Cool.
And Alfred and the Tednators just put up a new Jamcast video. It's acoustic. It's a cool one. Mandolin and acoustic. That's free on YouTube. We're gravitating to Patreon because
drop that link in the podcast description.
Smash that like button. Link in the bio. Do you know what it is? Smash that like button, Tim Dillon.
Yeah.
You know what it is. Smash that like button. All right. Well, cool. Fun episode. Jesse, take care, and I'll see you next time.
Later.
Peace.